Well, billionaire mega donors are opening their wallets now to influence the high-stakes race for control of Wisconsin's Supreme Court.
The winner of the April 1st election between Dane County Judge Susan Crawford and Waukesha County Judge Brad Schimmel will determine whether the court will remain under liberal control or flip to a conservative majority. Political analyst Brandon Scholes is back with us. Hello.
Good to see you again, Brandon.
Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
We're seeing mega donors like Elon Musk and George Soros pour money into this race, and we've had this conversation with some other folks, but why do you think Wisconsin is such a focal point to them?
Well, we set the pace last year with the race to elect Judge Protasiewicz, in which both sides spent $55 million, and that gave them majority control. So majority control of the court says you can make changes to what the legislature or the governor may have done if somebody files a lawsuit. So they can, in fact, use this phrase, legislate from the bench. Okay, that's supposed to be taboo in the judicial court world, but that's what it's all about. The three branches of government, executive, legislative, and judicial has a role. It's not just like civil traffic court, you know. I mean, the Supreme Court in Wisconsin and every other state across the country, and the U.S. Supreme Court, makes major decisions on how they uphold laws and bills that have been passed into law, or if they could take them out of either federal law or state law. It's a huge, huge element of what policy and procedures in the state our statutes follow.
But forever it was thought of as maybe the only thing in our life that was officially nonpartisan. But it really isn't, is it?
So for those House of Cards aficionados who watch that show over and over and over again, there was one great line of the whole however many season, and that's when he said, "Tell me the most important thing." And the lobbyist, he said, "Is it money or power?" The lobbyist said, "Well, it's money." And he said, "No, it's power. And if you hold the keys, if you hold the power, you can make these decisions." I have, there's a line that circulates in the lobby community that says, if you're not at the table having discussions, you're on the menu. You don't want to be on the menu. And so by winning the majority of the court, you are now able to deal with legislation, deal with laws, deal with lawsuits, and you can direct how the state's policy or what laws it's going to follow or what laws you're going to push out. We've seen so many different things in front of courts for years and years and years, but it is now a partisan race. Don't kid yourself. If you look at the endorsements, it's all partisan. It's the right side, it's the left side, it's the liberal conservatives, it's Republicans and Democrats. And it's always going to be that way. You can't put this genie back in the bottle, but it's also now affecting mayoral races, county exec races, city council, county boards, local municipal government. Somebody's got to fess up on what side are you on. People want to know, and that is a reaction from voters. They want to know, where do you come from? How do you develop your philosophy, your ideology? And that's what it is. So this is a big change that started last year. It started years ago, but last year was really the first time where a candidate, at the time Judge Protasiewicz, literally took positions on issues, or about as close as you could get to say, here's where I'm going to come down. And we're seeing that in this session too.
I think we have about 30 seconds left, but I want to ask, do voters get turned off when they see big money, outside money come into campaigns like this?
Not last November, the presidential, any other. Look, money in politics is here. And it comes in the form of ads and support. And there's just no way you're going to get around to it. And the candidates have an obligation to tell people what they stand for. But we also have third-party, outside money, independent money that is now part of this race. And that's really what makes up the spending that you're seeing now. There's $4 or $5 million of ads on the air, and you're going to see more and more and more from these organizations that also want to see people on the court who share their philosophy, their ideology, whether it's liberal or conservative. And they're in here. Elon Musk, Building for America, all these, unions are going to be in there, WMC, AFP, all the organizations that have endorsed these candidates from their political side will also be in with advertising, supporting their candidates, plus money, plus people on the ground, plus organization. It's a full-blown campaign compared to what it used to be when about 10% of the people went, "Oh, what's going on with that spring race these days?"
They couldn't even name the Supreme Court justices.
It's a national story. So if you start to look nationally, you're going to see stories cropping up in the next 5 weeks, especially as these campaigns report how much money has come in and how much has been spent on advertising.
I hope we get to hear from the candidates themselves, and a lot.
There is a debate March 12th by a Milwaukee TV station.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that too.
Thanks, Brandon.
Great to see you.
Good to see you.